And we're going to do a pick a card Valentine's Day love reading. So first I'm going to do a quick invocation. We'll do pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Pile 1 once again is red Jasper. Pile 2 is Moonstone. And pile 3 will be the orange Carnelian. So once you pick your card, pile 1, 2, or 3, you know, this will look like a really long video. Excuse me. But I'll put the timestamps below. So for instance, if you choose pile 2, go below to pile 2 and click the timestamp. It'll just pop you straight to that reading. So you won't have to listen to this whole video if the only thing you want to do is listen to pile 2. Same thing for pile 3. There'll be a timestamp for that in pile 1 as well. And in fact, if you are already in the know, you won't hear this point because you'll have picked one and popped your timestamp already. So yes, without further ado, let's pop over to your readings and we'll start with pile 1. Pile 1, if you chose the red Jasper, this pile is for you. Now, red Jasper is starting off right at the top here. It is a stone of great healing and balance. It's a very grounding stone. So it's encouraging of emotional justice, if you will. So so think of that in your, as we do this spread, perhaps that might resonate with some of you. Emotional justice, what does that mean to you? We're talking about, some of you, you know, perhaps we're talking about a karmic connection, something that, you know, you need to address in this life in order to continue your ascension, and this person is key in that journey. Perhaps this connection is bringing about, is righting the scales of emotional justice, you know, for you. So it's a real sense of getting balance in a karmic way, if you will. So there's that. So let's see what we get here for the tarot. Okay, I'm gonna start there. So here's our divine feminine, our divine masculine, and the connection between you. Okay, so pile 1. Let's see what we get. So starting over here with the divine feminine, and I'm going to say divine feminine, divine masculine, not you or them. You know, I want you to take it as it resonates with you. For some of you, you'll be identifying more with the divine feminine energy, and for others of you it'll be the divine masculine energy. I want to emphasize that it doesn't matter what actual gender you identify with in the 3D here. We all have feminine and masculine aspects about us. So let's talk about this. So the divine feminine energy here in this connection, we get the 5 of cups or 5 of emotions, the 10 of materials or pentacles, and the 3 of materials and pentacles. Sorry, I got my nails over me. So this is what we're looking at. Look at that palette. Interesting. So right away, we look at somebody who is very abundant in all things material in the 3D here. This earthy energy on this side over here is really coming through strong. The divine feminine might be seeking to set up her legacy, might be seeking to create something really long-lasting, something that will last a lifetime, a generation. She's really interested in teamwork and quality work, and a connection that is very steady and reliable in the mundane sense, as well as emotionally supportive and holistically supportive. The 10 of materials here talks about the tree of life. So there is a really deep sense of creation and creativity that the divine feminine energy in this connection is really deeply about, really interested in. She's at this stage in her life where it's very important to go forward and create, go forward and really lay down roots. Again, very lasting roots that result in legacy. Now, whether that means through this connection creating an actual family or creating abundance in all things, or creating projects, creating expression. This is all about creation and quality creation, quality work, so to speak. Now, at this hand side, sorry, I'm getting a little. We've got the 5 of emotions. So there's a little sense of heartbreak here, a little sense of disappointment in the past, or that the divine feminine carries, which is why she seeks out the stability moving forward through this connection. It's a real need to right this feeling of abandonment is coming through, this feeling of sort of having been left bereft in the past. This particular 5 of cups, or 5 of emotions, gives me swords energy as well, because the iciness, the water has iced over and become something very sharp. And so it tells me that the way that this emotion has sort of metabolized, and that's what tells me that it's something in the past, something that has gone before. It's not new, it's not fresh, it's not coming from this connection. It's something that over time has iced over, and it's become something that is manifested in the headspace as well. So what once was a broken heart is kind of edging into, it's affecting the way the divine feminine is sort of seeing things too and thinking about things. So she's looking to heal that through this energy, and it's a really smart energy because it's actually talking about getting out of the head space, getting out of the heart space, and cultivating it here in the 3D so that you can really deal with it. And I think that's really smart. So the divine masculine is represented by the Temperance card, the 8 of Inspirations or Wands, and the Magician. Master Manifesta. 2 major arcanas with the divine masculine, pile 1. And wow. Okay. Tons coming through, tons of energy coming through anyway. But becoming very quickly forward in this connection. They're sort of making this happen. It looks like even though the Temperance card is here, let's talk about this. The Temperance card is here with the 8, with this really fast moving energy, this like pow, motivated, inspirational, fiery energy of the 8 of inspirations, and then the Magician is here, just being the master manifestor, just making things happen. Just like, I'm just getting this energy of somebody who has all of the resources and faculties and the wherewithal and the gumption to see what he wants and just going out to get it. And then they've got this Temperance card, so it's a really lovely balance. It's not with wild abandon, it's not reckless, it's the energy is measured, it's really wise, it really knows that it needs to take a step back. And as you know, it's really nice to see Temperance with the Magician, because that is the master manifestor confirmed. They know that when they do everything they are able to and are required to or called to do in order to bring forth any sort of manifestation, they also know that part of it is to step back and be patient and watch the fruits of their efforts sort of germinate and come forward, and let the universe do their part as well, such as the law of attraction. So they're really like super keyed into that. And so the Temperance card is a card of Sagittarius, which is fire, which is so interesting about the Temperance card to me, because it's not the first, fire energy isn't the first thing I think about with the Temperance card, but it is Sagittarius, and it's and so there's still a lot of passion attached to this energy, even though it's sitting back and waiting patiently. This sort of keying into universe during this time. It's not a passive wait and see, you know. So again, as the Magician, the masculine, the divine masculine in this connection is really making this happen. I think that, you know, and this is, you know, the connection they've sought out, whether they know that this divine feminine is the one or not. They've been doing the work to seek out their, you know, a connection that is passionate, that's fiery, and exciting, and they have been doing all the right things in order to attract this divine feminine. They're wise. They may be older. This is sort of, if they're not older, they're actually just enwizened. They just have an old soul. They've been here before. They know what to say. They're really smooth talkers. Yeah, they've got a very gregarious nature. They're good listeners. They're really good listeners. And then there's this. They're going to be making the moves. They've got, you know, so this is fast-moving energy. They're going, when they are made aware, once they are made aware of this divine feminine energy, they're going to make they're going to get out of temperance mode pretty quickly. Like they're going to start making this happen. You will not, the divine feminine will not have any question about this person's intentions. They will really know what, they'll see this person and know without a doubt that this is what they've been manifesting along. And so they'll start messaging, they'll start texting, they'll start calling, whatever that looks like for you. And it'll be really clear what they want from this connection. They're very athletic. I want to say that they have a real sense of their divine feminine too. There's a really nice balance with them. But yeah, they're ready. They're ready for this. Okay, so The connecting energy is between the divine feminine and the divine masculine is the Five of Materials, the High Priestess, and the Seven of Materials. Okay. So this is going to talk about how you met, how you might meet, depending on, you know, where you are in this, and how you kind of come together, what that means. So we've got the Five of Materials, Five of Pentacles, which is sort of that Five of Emotions, Cups energy over there, High Priestess, and the Seven of Materials, Seven of Pentacles, for some of you. So this is a very intuitive connection right off the bat. High Priestess talks about that right away. You both know when you see, you know, when you are, whenever your connection, whenever you met, whenever you bumped into each other, whenever, you know, whenever the inciting incident happened, you guys knew. Maybe it wasn't like, pew, pew, you know, like cross the room and, you know, I choose you moment, but something either sparked, you had some sort of like just inner knowing, whether or not you were certain of it at the time. You can reflect back and say like, yeah, I had a really strong feeling about this, or you will. It's kind of how you're gonna know. The Five of Materials and the Seven of Materials. So for a lot of you, it's going to happen in a workspace or a working space, or it happened. So whether that's your actual workplace of business, or a place where you go often to do work, like if you go to classes or if you're in school, whatever that means for you. It's in like a 3D space where you come together and there's a collective vibe and work is being done. I want to say it's a creative space, you know, with the Seven of Materials in particular. It's something that, you know, where lots of seeds are planted and waited to be germinated. This is very much the energy of that magician, where like seeds are planted, and both of you are in that space, by the way. Even though the divine feminine didn't get the magician, she did get the Ten of Materials, which is also planting seeds so that something really beautiful and lasting may grow. Well, the Seven of Materials is here to second that emotion. We're talking about watching your manifestation grow and waiting. All of this energy right here is about that. That is the major theme of your reading, pile one. Planting seeds and watching something grow, and knowing, having the wise intuition and patience and connection to the universe to understand that it'll take time to grow into something, but that with care and nurturing, you'll be able to watch it grow into something really beautiful, lush, and lasting. So with the Five of Materials, some of you, this workspace might be I'm getting like a healing space. It might be a space where a group of misfits come together, whatever that means for you. It might be like a therapy circle of some sort. For instance, a church, spiritual healing group, a creative healing group, something where you get a really deep sense of healing, and I get that it's a group of misfits come together, you know? So, you know, the Five of Pentacles is sort of like that left out in the cold feeling, but there's this place of solace that's right there, like right there, you know, and in this context, I'm really getting the feeling that it's not that anybody's left out in the cold per se. They're just used to being misfitted. They're so singular, or, you know, because of past hurts or something, they just have receded from common society, if you will, for whatever reason. There's a sense where, you know, you're sort of a misfit. I think that's charming, you know, and this place where you come together and where you meet is a working space or a creative space where you come together to heal, and it's a meeting of misfitted minds. And I hope that resonates for some people. I think that's really lovely. Okay, so now this will be really fun, because I just got these Fortuna cards, and they're playing cards. They're based on playing cards, and they're oracles. And I may or may not have to read from them, but what we're going to do, we're going to use these guys to, they're really interesting. They're super like fortune telling vibes. It's not to be confused with Lenormand. It's not that at all. It's its own thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pull 3 cards on each side, and for the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine. On one side, we're going to talk about how the Divine Feminine sees the Divine Masculine, and vice versa. Okay, Spirit, please tell me about how the Divine Feminine sees the Divine Masculine once this connection is in full bloom. Okay. Oh, we got 4 cards. I meant to pull 3. And now let's talk about, Spirit, how the Divine Masculine sees his Divine Feminine. We got 5 cards here, but you know, we're gonna take them because they all just kind of flipped out. That's how this deck works. I kind of find that, you know, this is a really fun deck, and it really feels especially magical in so many different ways. Let's see what we get. So the Divine Feminine gets how the Divine Feminine sees the Divine Masculine. We have the Sword of Enchantment, which is the 7 of Clubs, the Necklace, which is the 3 of Diamonds. We have, it's the Jack of Hearts, basically, which is called La Hare. And finally, this is the name, it's that 1, 2, the 8 of Diamonds, which I think is the Garden. Okay, so really quick. Well, so the Sword of Enchantment is, you know, so she's just enamored. She's just enamored with her Divine Masculine. And the Necklace is, talks about connectivity to spirit, or through a spiritual connection. So it's recognizing that intuitive connection that the High Priestess was talking about earlier. And so she feels the the Divine Feminine feels for the Divine Masculine that there's an unquestionable unspoken language between them. She sees the Divine Masculine as there's something he's hiding. He's really, the Divine Masculine is with this layer, energy is completely crushable, like just so attractive and so like very youthful air with the Jack of Hearts. So just, you know, a real Romeo, but with that one eye being hidden, not seen. She feels like he may be hiding something at this stage anyway. For better or for worse, you know, like, don't we all? You know, he's a little mysterious. I think she finds him very mysterious, and isn't that romantic, right? And then finally, with the 8 of Diamonds, I have to look this one up because, like I said, these are brand new to me, but it is I can read. Oh, it's the House of Good Fortune. Wow, it's sort of like the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, good fortune and success. Test your boundaries. Good. So she feels, so it's the Divine Feminine feels like this is a really fortuitous connection. She feels really positive about this connection, and she feels safe to test her boundaries, to be herself. There's a real sense of feeling safe here, which is really lovely to kind of read that and understand about this card. Because look, remember we were talking about the Divine Feminine coming from, you know, this past, you know, energy of having been really disappointed in matters of the heart and emotion, and to the extent that they became iced over and sort of pointy and sharp. And what's beautiful about this Divine Feminine's ability is that she knows how to work through that and not keep it there. She's going to melt that ice with, you know, with her powers of manifestation, and she's not going to let that hold her back from seeing this really positive, what she sees as a really positive connection. And she feels very attracted to the divine masculine. She feels a connection. She feels thoroughly enchanted, and by this mysterious romantic figure. And she feels safe. She feels safe, and she feels really lucky. Did I get an accurate reading? I want to double check that. 7 of Clubs. Presence of something very special. Yeah, she's just enchanted. She's enamored. She thinks that she's got something really special, and she's not gonna risk, you know, she's going to see this through, and she's not going to risk I don't want to say losing it. I think it's still this is clearly in its nascence. I want to say that's for most of you. This is a new connection. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Unexplainable events are on the horizon. So yeah, I think there's something really magical about this connection as well. You know, again, with the necklace, there's a sort of like interesting connectivity. Really beautiful, super romantic. Okay, moving on to how the interesting. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Sorry. So the divine masculine sees the divine feminine as like so. He is both extremely attracted to her and thinks that like love is here, you know. There's no denying, first of all, and there's a really intellectual connection here as well. Let's unwrap this. So the first card is the 2 of diamonds. This is called the Rivals. And we'll get to this. And then we've got the Ace of Hearts, you know, that's sort of like the Ace of Cups energy. They called it Agana. The West Wind is the 4 of Hearts. Fata Morgana is the 5 of Hearts. And then Tendra, the 10 of Diamonds. So, okay, so first of all, let's talk about the diamond stuff here first. We have, with the Rivals, and Tendra. So the Rivals is like not a bad connection. It's the understanding that this connection is here to make you better. They challenge you. They challenge you in all the best ways possible. And so, you know, it's that sort of like arch rival energy, you know, that sort of like, I am here to test your boundaries. Once again, the divine feminine had the notion where she feels safe to test her boundaries, and the divine masculine is so lovely to see that reflected back here. He's here to say, yes, it's safe to test your boundaries here, and that's what I like about this connection, that we get to challenge each other and watch each other ascend and grow and help each other to become better, the best, you know, the best, our personal best. There, I said it. So, and then Tendra, this is, you know, very obviously a really like lusty, like hungry energy that this talks about. Somebody who is really, you know, sexually free, and so this talks about there being a real hunger for the divine feminine, and so he's really attracted to her. obviously with the Ace of Hearts, this is this nascent love that is really bursting in the heart space. And I have to get a little clarity with the west winds. So the fours are the winds, and it's really beautiful. The Four of Hearts. Yeah, it's again that sort of carry the intoxicating fragrance of tender buds, gentle persuasion. So yeah, the west wind talks about that crushable love. It's a crush. It's like right now the divine masculine. Like I said, the energy here is that this is a new relationship. It's in its sort of honeymoon phase, and so the divine masculine feels really just has a huge crush on the divine feminine that has all of the markers for being able to turn into actual love, like something really real, if everything in the 3D goes in a really nice healthy way. Again, as I look this last card up here, the Fata Morgana card, a lot of you, this is a brand new connection. Some of you haven't met them yet. This is talking about something that's on the horizon, and how exciting is that? And for others of you who may be in a long-term committed relationship for a long time, this may talk about what, like how it all began, or it may talk about sort of a renewal of this energy at this stage, at this time, especially for our really long-term relationships and marriages. They don't just plateau. I mean, they can, but if it's healthy, you grow together, and so you start to, you go through stages and stages of renewal, and a lot of times that can also be renewal in your romance. So that's exciting too, right? So Fata Morgana, beautiful, beloved, affection. Ooh, she's a temptress. Many illusions will be cast upon the waters of our emotion. So he sees her as just, it's this crush energy. Okay, so he's just really enamored by her, and sees her as incredibly attractive, just like super hungry for her. But he makes her blind. She makes him blind. This passion, this sort of what it stirs up for him makes him kind of see fuzzy, it's illusion. And I think maybe this, nothing negative about that per se, but I think that, it makes him feel a little uncertain sometimes as whether or not this is real. I think in the same way that the divine feminine sees some mystery in the divine masculine, this is that version of the divine masculine having that reflected back. There's a lot of mirroring going on in this relationship, in this connection, which is a good thing, I think. It's an indicator that, you're sort of on the right path for each other, or to each other, right? And that's really, really great. How beautiful. Okay, you guys, this first reading is taking a long time because I'm sort of cutting my teeth on the reading. I'm wondering if I should go to the last bit, or let's end it with a song. Let's pull a song. Yeah? I think this is Oh, no, one more thing. Sorry. What I wanted to do, I got these we're going to do one card, and that, talks about sort of where this is, the energy of where this will go. I got these cards from my lovely friend, shout out Sarah Kramer. She bought me these Kuan Yin Oracle cards, and they are beautiful. They're so dreamy. It's divine feminine, goddess, divination energy all the way. And it's just, they're really romantic and dreamy. What a perfect way to end a reading like this, right? So we'll do that, and then we'll pull a song, and let's see. I will have to read out of the book for this because they're so brand new. But so this is going to be the energy, spirit. What's for group 1 collective? The energy of the future of this connection. Okay. Gotta love that. Empress of the Pearl. Look at this. Wow. So beautiful. I hope I don't get... she's topless, so sorry, YouTube. Yeah, let's talk about the Empress of the Pearl. That already sounds like super feminine, sexy to me, right? The pearl. We talk about the pearl. So right off the bat, you know, I'm just going to say it like... Do I say it? It's... the physical connection is off the charts here between the two of you. So the Empress of the Pearl, I'm not going to read every bit of this. But I'll read the main idea. So it's the number 10. So there's a sense of completion. You guys complete each other. You have an inner gift of great value, born of struggle, adversity, and challenge. In wisdom, you know that suffering can lead to growth, provided we are willing to search for a way to heal through it. Seeing challenges as ways to expand your spiritual light empowers you to focus on the growing light rather than getting caught up in suffering. Yeah, so this really talks to, this connection is really healing for both of you, but we already talked about how the Divine Feminine had gone through it a little bit in the past and is seeking healing, has been seeking healing this whole time. And through this relationship, you know, I mean, I don't really want to put it that way because, you know, I think that we need to find our healing is very personal, but this relationship or this connection really does support one another so that they each may heal from whatever the past sufferings had been for them. You know, perhaps the Divine Masculine had been, you know, just really very laser focused on manifesting this powerful connection in the spirit of healing as well. And truly, I think that this misfit place of gathering may very well is a healing space. However you define that, it's going to be different for everybody. So whether it's, you know, like a circle that you attend or a spiritual practice or a working environment which you get much healing from, there's an intuitive connection that happens. You connect there, and you understand that you are both here to bring great healing and to each other, and or assist and support your healing process. And in that way, this connection is incredibly strong, incredibly beautiful, and so supported by one another and by spirit. So let's pull one song for you. The song lyric that we get for your connection is the Smiths. That's funny. So remember how I talked about the misfits of the, you know, that you guys are. I'd like to drop my trousers to the world. I am a man of means, of slender means. So that's, you know, not sexy or romantic at all necessarily, but I think that speaks to the energy of one or both of you, and sort of the, you know, sort of like a Bonnie and Clyde, but without all of the crime and death at the end. But that feeling that the two of you are cut from the same cloth, but it's so singular from the rest of the world. And, you know, you sort of just feel like when you're together, like this, you're in this bubble, and that the rest of the world disappears and you don't give a damn about what anybody says. For whatever reason, there's this sort of need to cop this attitude about you know, giving the rest of the world the finger as you connect. Like, I don't care what anybody thinks. Like, perhaps, you know, there's some reason why people, you know, might normally have an opinion about the two of you coming together. And yeah, and so it's this attitude of like, screw them, you know, they don't know. And this I am a man of means, of slender means, you know, it's this sarcasm, this sort of like, there's this cheek about one or both of you. You both share a sense of humor. It's cheeky, you know, and I think you guys both have a really great witty banter. I think you guys connect on language and puns, and you trade. Yeah, you trade quips together. I think that's a source of your connection too. Like, maybe that's sort of how it turns out. Like, you can't write this stuff, sort of thing. That's the kind of connection you guys have. Like, you really hit it off, and it's really fun. It's really fun. The energy is super fun. I'm getting like this really super cool, like, misfit artsy couple who meet in this like healing space. You are there to support each other's ascension, and I wanted to spend more time with you guys, but it's already getting really, really long. So that's it, pile one. Amazing. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a wonderful, 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 blessed day, evening, night, week, month, year. And I hope to see you at the next one. Thanks. Hello, group 2. So if you chose the Moonstone vial, Moonstones are really beautiful. These are sort of rough and raw, and you can see how many different variations they come in, how many different colors. They talk about a connection to spirit, a connection to moon energy, to mystery. My little I'm Taken ring is Moonstone too. It's all polished and it's a different little vibe there, but it really is about spiritual balance and connecting to spirit. So for our group 2 people, your connection, the divine masculine and divine feminine connection is, I think, for a lot of you, going to be about strengthening and seeking balance in a really strong spiritual way. You might find that your psychic connection is off the charts. But let's talk about this. So we're going to do a divine feminine, divine masculine, and the connective tissue there to start with. Again, I'm going to say divine feminine and divine masculine, not you and them. You can decide what side resonates. Doesn't matter what gender you identify with in your body, but we all have divine feminine and divine masculine aspects in us. So, oh, there we go. Wow. So without further ado, let's get into this. So just to finish that thought, whoa, wow. Divine masculine is, excuse me, really anxious, ready. Okay. Okay. So more for divine masculine. So to finish that thought, take it how it resonates. You know, it doesn't, whether you resonate with the divine feminine or the divine masculine, does not have to do with gender identity. Okay, and then finally, so interesting. Okay, so group 2, our Moonstone group. The divine feminine is represented by the world cosmos, the 6 of materials, pentacles, and the Ten of Voices, or Ten of Swords. So the Divine Feminine, I could take my time with that, really, is going through an ending. She's going through something that is causing her ascension. It's not without its pain, though. It's painful. It's something that was an ending that was fairly dramatic. So this is just to say, this is not, you know, a bad omen or anything. This is just some confirmation or an indication for who you might be, or if it's your counterpart or your connection, your person, what they might be going through, something that you can understand about them. It's by and large, it's a really positive thing, though. This is among the cycles of life. We have our ups and downs, and, you know, certain inevitabilities. We're going to face things that cause us pain, but this pain is great because it's the darkest before dawn. It feels like these kinds of endings are finite. They're absolute, I should say. But it means that there's an opportunity to let something go and begin anew, and that is what the Divine Feminine is going through, and what is happening for her. And indeed, it is an ascension process that has begun by this. It's a really courageous moment for the Divine Feminine in this way, because it's her understanding that it's, you know, rather than holding on to something tenaciously and trying to make something that is dead, done, and gone, you know, trying to breathe life back into it when there's none to be had there, she's making the very courageous next step of ascending and letting it go entirely. So this is what she's in the thick of at the moment. But, you know, the world is here. It's Major Arcana. It talks to, like, how kind of big of a deal this is for her. You know, that it is the sense of divine completion, and it sort of was meant to happen this way. So don't worry. You know, don't be sad about it. You know, or, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it's just reassurance that this is about being in the birthing canal and moving forward to a brighter, new way ahead, a renaissance. And the World card also is representative of the fixed signs. So however that resonates with you, the Divine Feminine is talking about the representation of our fixed signs. So that is Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. So if that's representative of your sign or somebody else's sign, what it has to do with, what the ending had to do with, who or what the, or these signs just might be strongly representing in your charts. So that is, the World card is also Major Arcana. Again, it just talks about how big a deal that this Renaissance is. I mean, Renaissance is no small thing anyway you slice it, right? But the Divine Feminine is really going through it, and this connection is, we'll see what that means for her. Usually that means that it's sometimes, well, I won't get ahead of myself, but I do want to talk about the Six of Materials. This is a really beautiful balance energy. She's looking for reciprocity. She's looking to balance things out. She's looking to be charitable. There's a sense of having a lot to give. She has a lot to give, and she just needs to, she's seeking an opportunity to, you know, to give it, you know, and And I get a sense of real, you know, the materials suit in general is this really beautiful concept of courageously being ready to put things that had been in the mental or heart space, you know, the fantasy space, and ready to bring them forward. It's that moment. That moment is now for the divine feminine. And so whereas, you know, through this process, you know, that was really causing a lot of stuff in the head, you know, like her ascension is as much intellectual as spiritual. That just came forward for me, so that might resonate for some of you. And again, I think that, you know, through this process, like when you're in between worlds, I want to say, the divine feminine has been in between worlds, and this has sort of been an incubation phase for what went before and what, you know, might be on the horizon, what might come next. And so there's been a lot of time to fantasize and to mull over and to really, you know, manifest forward how that's going to look. And now she's at the point where she's ready to bring it forward. And one thing that she knows for sure is that she has a lot to give, and she's understood that perhaps part of what went, you know, sour before, that, you know, required this ending, was that no matter how much she had to give, she wasn't getting this idea of like breadcrumbing and somebody, you know, purposefully holding back from the feminine, and in spite of how much she had to give, you know, with the realization, this is really specific, guys, sorry, but so whomever this resonates for, you have my sympathy. But yeah, no matter how much she had to give, it wasn't received, you know, like they purposefully shut off reception to it, as a, you know, because it was a way to control the situation. So specific. So it's really important to the divine feminine now to be able to have the feeling, the nourishment that comes with having everything that you have to offer fully received with loving arms. And that's a really important thing for this divine feminine, for what comes next. Whew. Wow. It's a really powerful place to be coming from. Divine masculine. We have the 5 of materials. We have the Fool card. Ooh. And the Page of Inspiration. Wow. So ready. So remember in the beginning, these first 2 cards flew, pow pow, they just like flew out and to pick them off the ground, pick them up off the ground. There we go. Because this person is so ready to take a big leap of faith with the Fool card. Yeah, they're also going through healing. 5 of materials means to me that they are coming out of a you know, of something that made them feel left out in the cold, something that was a very alienating relationship. And this, you know, in a way, this divine feminine, you could be said that was a sense of alienation, you know, too, but in a different way. Perhaps the divine masculine also experienced you know, a cut off from emotional resource, you know, cut off from warmth. That's what I'm getting. Divine masculine had, you know, the feeling of being cut off from warmth, and is basically walking away from that. Not basic, just is absolutely walking away from that. And it's the divine masculine is taking a leap of faith in this direction. Really young and youthful energy. Maybe that divine masculine is on the younger side, or simply that's the energy, like a younger soul, maybe. Sorry, I'm going to fix that. Okay. But very passionate with the Page of Inspirations. very passionate, very creative, is ready to also give forward his fire, his creativity, his motivation. He's just really ready to leave behind this sense of sadness and loneliness. Really ready to leave behind his loneliness, and so he's going out to seek it and find it and make the offer and bring the message of his inspiration, he's just super excited. Again, those cards just flew out, and he's so ready to make the next thing happen in this connection. And yeah, it's a really positive, bright energy. He doesn't carry any baggage with him. It's the Fool energy, which is so great to note. It's a really important thing to note, because sometimes, like there's healing to be done and this sort of thing. And it's not to say that, you both won't have some healing to do, like if you guys have been through it. But this says that, like, there's some healing to be sure, but it may not come up even. Like I think, the healing might have already been done. I think the feeling I'm getting is that for whatever reason, it'll be different for everybody, even though that Divine Feminine got super specific. But, still that will resonate only for a handful of you. But in this case, what I'm getting, however this immediate past situation went down, it was sort of cut and dry, sort of a no-brainer for the Divine Masculine to leave it behind, and so therefore he brings no baggage with him into this, but he's also ready to begin again, and in this connection, and it's very fiery, it's very passionate, it's very motivated, it's motivating, it's creative, it's youthful, it's renewed. There's a sense of renewing energy to this. There's a black cat on this card, so he's a little mysterious. He's a little mischievous. I get a lot of mischief in this card, which is fun and exciting, I think. So your connection. This may talk about how you meet, how you will meet, how you met, depending on where you are in this connection. And it talks about sort of the connective tissue, Let's see what it talks about. So we've got the Page of Materials, we've got the Hierophant, and the Nine of Materials. Okay. Earth energy. All earth. Earth, 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 earth. With the Hierophant card, you might have met in a place of practice. Whether that's spiritual practice, or school, or a place you take classes, a gym, even, something that you do religiously, or church, indeed, for many of you. Did I say, maybe I said spiritual practice. But anyway, so where you come together is in this place of practice. So it's a great place to start, because in this way you are like-minded. And then the Page of, so it's study. There's student energy here with the Page of Materials, and then the Nine of Materials. It's a place where you both are looking to improve your wealth, your personal abundance. So the place where you are practicing in the 3D, this is all very earthy energy. You're cultivating. It's a place where you're cultivating yourselves. This is where you meet. This is how you meet, or how you met. And I think there's just no better way to meet, because you're like-minded. You're both, the energy with your, that you're working together with is already activated and active, and not just about attraction. It's about, it's attraction on a whole nother level. It's not just physical, it's active, you know what I mean? I think that it's immediately elevated because your ability to work together is put to the test right away, and that can be a part of your courting, or indeed that's a part of your courting, is that you have the opportunity to do what you both are here to do together, and you're learning it together too. So it's a really beautiful space to get to know each other in. And again, the Nine of Materials talks about it's not just a class, it's some place where you're really cultivating yourself so that you can be singular individuals on your own, to self sustaining, and really just look at the freedom of this person on this card. That such is the freedom that comes with self-cultivation when you achieve your highest potential. And in this space, you both are doing just that. And so in that way, a really strong connection can come of it. I think that's peaches. So that's how you guys come together and meet. Now this next portion is going to be using these amazing Fortuna cards I got. They're playing card oracles, not to be confused with Lenormand. They're not that. They're their own little beast, but they're so fun. I may have to read out of the book because they're just that brand new. But what we're going to use them for is how the divine feminine sees the divine masculine, and vice versa, how the divine masculine sees the divine feminine. I mean to pull 3, but in the last reading, more than that came out. They just flew out. These are really fun magical cards. They're super fortune telling. Okay, divine feminine. Oh wow. And yeah. And so I just hope you guys have a. Oh wow. These want to come out too. So. How interesting. Okay, I'll put them up there. I'm not sure how to read those yet. So, the divine feminine sees the divine masculine. Did I explain that clearly enough? So these Fortuna cards they're playing card oracles. They're not Lenormand cards, but they have their own special magical meanings, and I find them very, very fun. They're enchanted. They seem enchanted. So anyway, so how the divine feminine sees the divine masculine. You got the 2 of Hearts, the 5 of Diamonds, and the 10 of Spades, which is called Terrene. So right off the bat, the 2 of Hearts is the Lovers. It's the Lovers. So the divine feminine really sees a really deep romantic connection in divine masculine. She's really feeling this connection. She recognizes that they come together in the heart space really, really well. She feels super connected. The 5 of Diamonds is called the Peddler's Ace. I have to read that. I haven't gotten that card yet. So Diamond's energy in this deck is similar to Wand's energy. And let's see what it says. The Peddler's Ace. Be careful in deals or transactions of any kind. So take this all with a grain of salt. We'll pull this together. So I think she feels a little apprehensive. She feels apprehensive. That's all that says. Because I think as ready as she is to take it by storm, she still is healing. Of the 2, the divine feminine is in a space of healing a little more than divine masculine, and it might be said that because the divine masculine is coming forward with that so readily, with that fool's energy, with the leap of faith, and just sort of let's just do this, it might be a little overwhelming, at least for the Divine Feminine, is what that energy tells me. Tarine is the 10, and right away I want to say dancer. Tarine makes me feel of a dance, it just gives me the energy of this really youthful energy that, you know, is really good with their bodies, and so I think that the Divine Feminine sees that in the masculine. And let's see what it says for real. Yeah, so many aspects of the natural female are symbolized here, including the wisdom of the body and natural instincts. Okay, what'd I say? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nicely depicted on that card. I think the Divine Feminine is very attracted to the way that the Divine Masculine holds himself with great poise. Again, gender doesn't mean anything. Indeed, Tarine is, you know, referred to as a female energy. It doesn't have to be, but, you know, just somebody who's really naturally gifted in, you know, in physical prowess, and maybe they're just actually like great dancers. They have great rhythm. You know, but indeed she's very attracted to him, and so I mean, you just have, you know, the Alpha and the Omega here. You've got the lovers, and you've got, you know, a physical attraction, and or, you know, or just a recognition of, you know, that she's of this youthful physical excellence that you know, that she's attracted to. But there's a little apprehension, I think, that comes from her need to heal a little bit more. So I think if you're the Divine Masculine, the advice would be to, you know, take it slowly, you know, just be gentle, be, you know, with her, because there is love here. And she's, you know, it's all of the signals are being struck, you know, but there's something that, you know, keeps her a little apprehensive. So for the Divine Masculine on the other side, we got the Ace of Hearts, we've got the Six of Diamonds, and we've got the Truth, which is the Seven of Diamonds, the Sword of Truth. Okay, so Ace of Hearts obviously is the, like, the Ace of Cups. Like, this person, Divine Masculine, is ready to love the Divine Feminine. He sees her as the one. That's it. That's just it. Like, he's ready to take the leap of faith with her. Like, he doesn't need much more, you know. He doesn't need confirmation ad nauseum, you know. He just knows. And the Six of Diamonds is, I think, pretty dreamy. Let me just confirm for you in this deck. Oh, why do I? The Tower. Brings new view, changes in attitude, and feeling of protection and peace. So yeah, the Tower card in this deck is not like the Tower card in the regular tarot. It's sort of like in the similar way, it's like the Holy Grail, you know. It's quest. It's the end of a quest, like reaching the Tower. You know, it's a sense of protection and peace, like reaching the last bastion, you know, that idea, that concept. And you know, it says that ascending the tower, like going up the spiral staircase of the tower, and, you know, affords a new view, new perspectives. So instead of like this destruction, you know, that the tarot tower talks about, this talks about like climbing the tower in order to gain a new perspective on life, and indeed new wisdom, and feeling the protection of this fortress, because this tower is built of really strong stuff. So what the Divine Masculine sees in the Divine Feminine is a lot of wisdom, a lot of new perspectives, and he feels protected by her. He feels safe with her. The Seven of Diamonds is the Sword of Truth. So lots of diamonds energy. So it's that Wands energy, right? That very fiery, passionate. It's just like with the the page of inspirations. He's so inspired. He's like so ready. Like he has no question in his mind that this is the way to go. She's the one, Ace of Hearts. But so this says, the blade of the sword cuts through the fog of false thinking and delusion, allowing the light of truth to shine through. Like he sees absolute, he sees this connection with absolute clarity. He's really, has no question, he wouldn't, because he's just going right forward, right off the cliff of love, and is just super ready for it, and that's really, really beautiful. I'm such a fan of this divine masculine energy. Now this came out, it's the Jack of Clubs and the King of Spades, Marduk, and Lancelot de Lac. So this came out, like sort of dribbled out at the end of the Divine Masculine shuffle there, and I decided to take them. This is a little further insight into who this person may be, and I'm just going to, read them briefly. So Marduk is... it's swords energy again, and it sort of talks about this sort of truth. I think that it, kind of follows forward. This is here to sort of, it grows up the energy a little bit. It's a king. This person is even though the energy with which he's coming is like the Fool, it's in the most positive sense. It's not blind and reckless abandon, and it's not without its wisdom. It's because this person's ready and trusts himself and knows himself, because he's actually quite wise and in a lot of other ways. Like, he's an incredible businessman. He's really very mature and learned and wise, and sort of that doesn't suffer fools gladly sort of thing. I think he's pretty cutting in other aspects of his life. In this situation, though, he's like a kid again. So that's what's happening. So that, just for confirmation, whether this is somebody who you've already met or is on the horizon for you, that's how you'll know. It's like, don't go looking for like some youth out there necessarily. Whoever this is, they're pretty business, and in the world, like they're to be taken quite seriously, and they're very established already. So it's just in this connection that that they're just super free and youthful and romantic. So Lancelot de Lac is the most romantic of the knights out there, right? He's the stuff that dreams are made of. So he's a dreamboat too. So for those of you who need that further confirmation, congratulations on being that divine masculine, or having that divine masculine in your life and your connection. So finally, we're going to do a song after this, but the energy, we're going to pull a card from this beautiful deck that my dear friend gifted to me, which is the best way to receive tarot. It's the Kuan Yin Oracle. These are just really beautiful, dreamy, sexy, divine feminine cards. Big goddess energy vibes with these cards, but it's a really beautiful way. They're really romantic to get guidance on this connection as it goes forward. What is it, where is it heading? Where is it, what is it meant to be? Or what's the, it might be windy. Yeah, just what's the energy around the outcome? Is that cat? Oh. The window just opened. So wild. Dynasty of the Divine Mother. Oh my gosh, that was so eerie. My windows lock with latches. Okay, you saw it here. I'm going to finish this. Dynasty of the Divine Mother. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little distracted by how eerie that window opening is. So what does that mean for you guys? Is the connection is magic. And it's supported by spirit. It's very strong. It's gonna move mountains. No, I hear it, the neighbors. But so anyway, let me get back on track here. So we've got the Dynasty of Divine Mother. It's the number 8. So so this is a relationship that has to do with great evolution. We are going to read straight from the book because these are just such brand new cards. I'm not going to read the whole passage. I'm just going to read the overriding energy. So this card means the only wish of the Divine Mother Goddess is that all beings be spiritually free. The Divine Goddess calls us to realize our true nature, to fall in love with our own divinity. Enlightenment is a culmination of many small steps, each one as a drop of water, forming a divine ocean of peace, realization, love, and unity within us. An ocean that washes away fear, separation, and scarcity, and bathes us in abundance and bliss. You carry the torch of enlightenment within you, beloved. Let it shine each day. So what this tells me is this relationship is, once again, it just corroborates, it confirms and supports the idea that in this space, you know, where you're each cultivating yourselves, and strengthening yourselves to be your best selves, it really is in beautiful service to yourselves, but also to this connection and this relationship. And in this way, because you each have that individual understanding and respect for your personal growths, the relationship can come together and be super strong in that it's supportive of that notion, as well as the idea of coming together. You know, it also talks about, you know, the healing that the Divine Feminine, especially on this side, you know, needs to go through in order to be brave enough to forge this relationship and move ahead and move forward like she wants to, and is and does have the courage, is indicating the courage, is acting with the courage of knowing that she can move forward, but you know, she still has to take the time and heal things and let go of that scarcity mindset that may hold her back from such a beautiful, you know, realization here. So that's what this oracle card has to talk about, is really supporting beautifully this progress in the way that it's going forward. It's so romantic. It's really, really beautiful and strong. It's so powerful. Let's finish with a song lyric for you. These aren't all love songs. They're all going to talk about just another aspect of this connection. I'm getting to my head. Ooh. Real estate, 2 arrows. The flashlights out in the night will get you home, marking under the night's punctured. I can't read my own handwriting, you guys, sorry. Dome, there it is. 2 flashlights out in the night will get you home, walking under the night's punctured dome. Yeah, real estate, you guys. If you don't know this band, they're super, super dreamy. I love them and how they write. But yeah, it talks about, yeah, just you guys are 2 flashlights, you know, out in the night. You know, it's that you're each other's beacon to get each other home. It's an individual journey. You're each singular lights. And traveling through the darkness together. but you're there side by side to get each other home. Where's home? What's home? It's your own personal realization. It's your own, you know, it's your own ascendance, personal ascendance. It's this recognition that you know, of each other's individuality and singularity, and there's an agreement that you're gonna get to realize your personal ascensions, but you're gonna do it together. That's love. I love it, you guys. All right, Pile 2, I'm going to end it here. I'm sending you so much love, light, happy Valentine's Day. If you like this reading, it resonated with you, please do hit the thumbs up button, the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a wonderful, beautiful, romantic day, weekend, Valentine's Day, eternity. All right, bye. Hey Pile 3, so you chose the orange carnelian, and this is your reading. So carnelian is a great emotional harmonizer. It talks about the second chakra. It promotes courage, it releases sorrow, it releases fear, it improves your memory, your mental acumen, some sharpness and acuity. And your confidence. So like, this is a real, like, it gives me very, like, real Leo vibes. So some of you, you know, that might resonate. And so these things are kind of what is coming, some of the energies that your connection is, I want to say, is made of, if that resonates with you, or it's about harmonizing. So that resonates for some of you, however that resonates for you guys. Okay, so how we're going to do this reading with the Muse Tarot is we're going to do the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, and then the connective tissue, and that might talk about how you met, or how you're going to meet, and then, you know, whatever else it has to say about the connective tissue between the two. Then we're going to do how each one of you see each other using these fun fortune-telling cards. All right, wow. And oh, wow. See what cards want to come up. Okay. Is that right? Yeah. Don't question it. So once again, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. It doesn't, instead of you and them, I'm going to keep it in those general terms because this is a general reading, and it doesn't matter what gender you are or how you identify bodily. Like, we all have Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine qualities, aspects about ourselves, sort of like the yin and yang, if you will. I'm just going to call it Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. And so however you resonate, whichever side you resonate with, that's just how you will need, how you receive it. And so without further ado, let's get into this. So the Divine Feminine energies is made up of the Lover's card, the Ace of Voices or Ace of Swords, and the Five of Materials. So right off the bat, air energy. There's earth here too, but first of all, the energy of Gemini is here with the Lovers, or other air signs with the Ace of Swords. So very intellectual. The Divine Feminine is very intellectual. She's coming from a space where she's an individual. In this case, like, the Five of Materials is speaking to me similar to Pile 1 got this card in the connective tissue area, and it really is standing out to me here too as sort of like this misfit quality, rather than having been left out in the cold. I mean, some of you that may translate into that, but the idea that instead of having it be this negative feeling of loneliness, you transmute it into something powerful and self-empowering, and you wear your misfit quality as a strength, if you're the divine feminine. So the divine feminine here is very singular in this way, and they typically feel like they don't really need other people. They somehow they've learned that they don't need to rely on other people. They've learned to rely on their own resources for self-assurance, for confidence. Again, with the Carnelian, it really is promoting that sort of that inner strength, and that inner inherent confidence that kind of knows that it's like, I don't need the validation from outside sources. So, because I'm special, I'm different. And so the divine feminine sort of leads into that energy. With the Lover's card and the Ace of Swords, a couple different things coming through. Where to begin? So, okay, so rather than trying to, I'm just going to say what comes to mind and not judge it, but there is this sense with the divine feminine that that she's missing her missing piece. That in spite of this sort of this confidence and this feeling or this sort of more learned behavior, perhaps, that that makes her feel like this lone wolf strength quality, there's a sense that she is looking for a missing piece. That she's one of two, that she's there's like sort of this twin flames search, perhaps, if you so subscribe to that notion. I don't personally, but it's that feeling where it's like you maybe the divine feminine knows somebody's out there for her, and so that's one aspect of the Lovers to me in this situation. And it's also that she has a lot of love to give, like major arcana level love, like she's ready to harmonize with somebody. Again, with the Carnelian, talking about harmony and harmonizing. Like I think that there's a real desire at this time, if this relationship hasn't already begun, if it's on the horizon, it sort of like speaks to the divine feminine really calling this in. It's like, okay, it's time. I'm ready for my for my missing piece. I'm ready to harmonize with somebody. I'm ready to make my melody more complicated in the most beautiful way possible through harmony. And so that is where she's at right now. And with the Ace of Voices, which is Ace of Swords, gosh, she's so smart. She is so smart. She's wisdom embodied, and she's a really good talker. She's an excellent communicator. She has incredible, like, big ideas. She's big good. She's got incredible ideas. She's very thoughtful. She's got piercing intellect. She will challenge you. She will challenge you. I know this isn't the Queen of Swords. Like, this is feeling like Queen of Swords energy, but it's the Ace of Swords. It's sort of like she's ready for like this is how intellectually elevated she is that she's ready for the next new thing. She also wants this person to be an intellectual challenge, because she is an intellectual challenge. I mean, like, that sounds, take it as you will, but she is, that's a good thing. She knows that if that her person, this connection, needs to be at a certain level intellectually, otherwise it's not going to have the right stuff. And so that's what she's seeking, and that's what she deserves. That's what she's manifesting, because that's what she has to offer as well. And she knows that, and she feels, she knows how singular she is. She's, don't futz with her. She is wow, if that's you, big admiration. You're coming forward as this energy is coming forward really strong, if that, and so again, this might be you, this might be your connection now, or your upcoming connection, your dream person. But on the divine masculine side, we have the Queen of Materials, the World, Cosmos, and the Ace of Materials, another ace. That's good. So like, this is like yin and yang, you know, like, and I want to say right away, harmony is here, because it's, you know, it's not the same. It's not going to be the same melody. It's not, you know, it's complementary. Not in the ways you would think, though. So with the divine masculine energy, we have the Ace of Materials. He's ready to come forward with a really solid offer, and it's an abundant offer. It's a, you know, he's ready for something new. Definitely, that's what that points to, right? The World. He's just come through the birthing canal, so to speak. He's just completed a major life cycle. He's, but with the Queen of Materials, he comes out of this cycle matured, nourished by it. Like, it wasn't like something he needs to heal from. It's something that, you know, it was a growth cycle and it worked, you know, and he comes forward ready to nurture. Like, it was an enriching experience, whatever this last previous cycle was. And it, you know, and there's no time needed to heal from anything, you know, there's no further processing needed. He actually comes out really abundant and fed, nourished by the experience, and ready to come forward and give a solid offer. It's fantastic energy. The World card is representative of the fixed signs as well, so some of this might resonate with you, and you know, that makes a whole lot of sense, there being a ton of earth energy here too. Fixed earth, not all of the fixed signs are earth, but you know, earthiness is also indicative of that sort of more grounded fixed feeling, right? But specifically the fixed signs there's one in every element, in fact. Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. So that might resonate with some of you. It might not. It doesn't necessarily matter. I just want to call it out, just if that's further confirmation for anybody out there, because these are general readings. But that's still, like, you know, there's a groundedness, there's a readiness, there's a, you know, the divine masculine is ready to grow roots, and that's really, really fantastic. And I say it, and so it's sort of complementary, this sort of grounded, earthy energy to this air energy over here. Now, there's earth on the divine feminine side too, but largely it's this airy, intellectual thing. And so if she's looking for harmony, and she is, she's finding it here in this connection, because he's here to ground her and maybe even bring her big ideas into fruition, into the earth. So she's got the Ace of Swords. She's the big ideas. She's the brains. He's the brawn. It's the Ace of Materials, of Pentacles. I got the brain, you got the brawn. Let's make lots of money. If you guys know that Pet Shop Boys song. Anyway, moving on. It's beautiful. This is the harmony we're talking about. He gives her the wherewithal. He gives her, like, the ability and the grounding that's necessary for all of these really big, high-fluting ideas that she has and is capable of. It's not to say that she's incapable of doing it herself, but he's here to make it easier, and that's really exciting. And it's exciting, because it's exactly what divine feminine is looking for. Divine masculine is just oh my god, like it's like a big hug. He's like a big hug, in that it's just all sorts of reassuring, certain, melts away all doubt, self-doubt, doubt in the world. Just that big bear hug of safety and, like, I got thisness. There's no, all doubt is dissolved with this energy that the divine masculine has, because he's been through it already. He comes out matured and fully nourished and ready to give, ready to make stuff happen. So the connective tissue between the two energies is the Hanged Muse, Hangman. the Page of Inspirations, like Page of Wands, and the Two of Inspirations, the Two of Wands, so fire energy. Hanged Muse. So, yeah. Oh. Sorry, guys. Hopefully my battery does not run out. The way you meet or met has to do with a place of planning. You keep it nice and general here. Yeah, a place of planning, a place where ideas begin, and a place of meditation. However that resonates with you guys. Or a period of planning, through a period of planning, through a period of meditation, through a period of ideating. Brainstorming just came through. So through a brainstorming process, however that, you know, so there aren't any cards like the other two decks like had really specific place of practice, like place of business, you know, vibes. That's not here. So it can be really anywhere that something happens. What happens is the circumstances surrounding your meeting have to do with, I'm really getting a strong brainstorming process vibe. So it's like everybody has to go in their separate corners, meditate on an idea, and then come forward and tell their idea, and then thereby a plan is made. And it's almost, I'm getting this, you know, whiteboard process, you know, somebody's facilitating it and writing down all the things. And so this is getting super specific. So for some of you, it might resonate. Some of you, it won't. Take it as you will. But what I'm getting is like, oh, you take I'm getting the phrase like, you take all the emotion out of it. And you just, you know, it's just, you know, this is my own phrase, but like, it's the idea of like, it's just math, you know, once you get everything out in front of you. And, yeah, so this is circumstances of your meeting, or the way you will meet, or the way you have met, is through this sort of like planning stage. And that's one example of how that, you know, can manifest or happen. But again, the idea is that the connective tissue here is through meditation, this like sort of like this 3-step process. Some of you 3-step process might resonate in itself, but it's meditate, ideate, and plan. Yeah, so that's sort of the like maybe you guys go away to a retreat, you know, like a workshop, or you do a workshop together. And you know, it's that sort of, those sorts of vibes, like a really how fun. It's like the adult version of summer camp. You know, you go away and you're like, ooh, somebody catches your eye, and yeah, that's totally what I'm getting, you know. And it's no wonder like the relationship is so primed for success, really, because you meet in this space that's so like already like this elevated, it's about, you know, an elevated process, you know, and so it's like a really high vibrational place to come from. Okay, so moving on from that, you guys, that's really fun. I'm going to do what the divine feminine thinks of the divine masculine, and how they see the divine masculine, and then vice versa, how the divine masculine sees the divine feminine. I'm going to do these Fortuna cards, which are super magical and super oh, interesting. Divine feminine, you are plucky. Oh, and one more. And yeah, well, okay, you're the one. Yeah. Thank you. So these Fortuna cards are Oracle playing cards. They're not Lenormand. They are based off of a playing card deck, but they're not to be confused with Lenormand. They're their own kind of like fancy magic, which is a super. They're super fun. They're super fun, and it's kind of perfect for this deck. Now they're brand new to me though, and I have pulled several cards yeah, already, and so I know what some of them mean, but I'm gonna have to read the book a lot of the time, so forgive me. Okay, so first of all, With the divine feminine, the way she sees the divine masculine, we have Terene, which is the 10 of spades. The 2 spades, which I believe is the north wind. It's one of the winds. Oh, no. It's, oh, this is very, I think it's the enemy's card. Oh, so interesting. The ace of clubs, super great, and Tendra, the 10 of diamonds. Whoo, okay, right away. So there is this really like what I want to say, divine feminine, the way you see your divine masculine is, this is like 10 things I hate about you. No, yes, that, or what's the other one with Kate Hudson and where they're writers at a magazine? Is that Matthew McConaughey? Gosh, it's been a minute. But anyway, it's this idea that like there's a rivalry and you guys see each other as the enemy at first, but there is this undeniable attraction. Like it's super lusty, but it's not talked about because there's something, you guys have a difference. So what ends up becoming, you know, or became, you know, however this, you know, wherever you're at, whatever stage you're at in this connection, whatever, it becomes harmony. Like eventually you recognize your differences and how they actually complement each other. And, you know, your individual melodies, you understand how you can blend them to make a beautiful harmony. But at first, the divine feminine sees you as, or not you, sorry, I don't know, that will resonate with somebody. Divine feminine sees divine masculine as like enemy. Like she's offended by what he represents. Isn't that funny? I'm gonna just double check that book just to make sure that I'm getting all aspects of the meaning there. Oh no, where's my book? Oh, there it is. Okay. So that's the 2 of spades. Again, the spades is sort of representative of that air energy too. And again, the divine feminine is super plucky in her head. She's so smart. She's like smart to a fault. And I think, you know, sometimes that gets in the way, as beautiful as that is. You know, I think she may overthink matters of the heart. But it's so funny that, you know, that she is also represented by the lovers there too, because she has the capacity and capability for great love. And to be a fantastic, amazing, the divine counterpart. So you know, but we all need work, right? So the 2 spades, yeah, is the enemies. It's corresponding to the solid element of earth. Provides the most concrete example of opposition with the 2s. So yeah, so she just sees divine masculine as like opposite. Like it could be even that like you're different religions, you're different political parties, you're different, like there's something to that kind of polarity at first, which on the surface seems like it's going to be an obstacle, gets in the way, or that's the way the divine feminine sees it in the divine masculine. But she also sees so much attraction and there's so much lustiness in this card. So there's like real like hunger. She's attracted to him so hardcore. And then she also notices that, you know, he's got this sort of really, you know, he's got a, you know, swimmer's body. She admires his physical prowess, which is to say maybe he's a really great dancer. He's got a very he's fit. He's very fit. Let's put it that way. And but there's this feminine quality with this card. It doesn't matter gender, remember. But so he may really be fastidious about his appearance at the same time. Like there's you know, I'm suddenly now getting this sort of Dharma and Greg sort of vibe, this duality where like maybe he's really preppy and put together, and our intellectual feminine over here is a bit more boho or something, for instance, like it's that kind of like, you know, yin and yang, and the sort of like opposing forces which seem to not make sense on paper, but like they harmonize so well together in real life. And she sees this like this, in spite of the opposition, like she's really attracted to what she sees and what she feels. And the ace of of clubs is like, is this, the Ethra card is, I think it's, what is it, mysticism and whimsy. It's like a wish to come true. Let me just double check here. I think it's good though. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a moth. The moth represents another world where dreams, ideas, and creative impulses emerge. So yeah, it's, so remember how I was saying how like the divine feminine is so intellectual and so smart, like that it might, like that gets in the way, like, you know, and it takes a lot for her to like cut that noise in order to get to like what her dreams are and realizing her dreams. And like, it's, I think whatever this opposing energy that she sees in the divine masculine, she also sees it as like an access point into her dreams. Like she sees it, she has that sense about it, even though like, you know, like it's so different. He's so different from anything that she's known before or even considered for a relationship in the past. And she fantasizes about him a lot. So that's interesting. Now let's talk about how the divine masculine sees the divine feminine. So he's got the drop on her, by the way. And so we have the 3 of spades. We have the Jack of spades, 11. We have Marduk, the King of spades. Ooh. And then we also have, softening it up, the 7 of clubs, which is the sword of enchantment. He is enamored. And then the 10 of hearts, which is Allegra. Yeah, Allegra. Okay, so where do we start? Let's start with these spades over here because he's got the number on her. I need to look up the 3 of spades specifically, but I have a feeling that well, let's just read it. Yeah, so the 3 of spades is called the grave card, and it says the time has come for something to be buried to take its rightful place in the past, and so he sees that that the divine feminine has stuff to put behind her. And I think that part of it might have to do with, like, you know, because she's coming forward, you know, like perhaps with the judgment that they're different, you know, that they're actually on opposing sides. You know, he's coming forward with this energy of like, you have to put that behind you, actually. Because I think, you know, when it comes down to these types of connections, no matter what we see in the 3D, no matter what we think, you know, we acknowledge on paper, so to speak, you can't deny a connection. Not a divine one. You know, like however, for whatever reason you put to it, you know when you feel a connection with somebody. And I think that's what's happening between these two people, the divine feminine and divine masculine, in spite of all logic. You know, and immediately the divine masculine, because he's so ready to give, he's like, okay, you know, it's like he just sees it, acknowledges it, you know, for all the weirdness, he's like, weird. Anyway, moving on. It's time for you to put your differences in the past, bury them. They're done. He also respects her a lot because he sees that as the king of spades, this Marduk card is like, he sees her ruthlessness. Like she's like a really arrived, and she's like an excellent executive. He's, you know, he really respects her sense of power and established, what do you call it, her success, her established success in life, and he sees her as formidable. And I don't think he's afraid of it, though. He also sees her, she has a nice booty. He likes her body. The Jack of spades is sort of like, he's like a romantic figure. And in this sense, like, I think he sees her in the same way as this terrain card. Like they're checking each other out. They're both like admiring each other's bodies. And in this case, the Queen of Swords has a really nice booty, and he really likes it. It just is what it is, you guys. But you know, he's got only one eye out. So she also sees that like there's more than meets the eye. Like she's got a mystery about her, and it's not super deep, like mysterious. Like I think he can get to it. He can probably guess what she's hiding, you know. Like and that thing is that she's got a really soft ooey gooey interior. But still, he knows that she's not wearing her heart on her sleeve. But I think it's really funny. He's like, he thinks that he admires her body as well, particularly her booty. And so he's just totally enchanted by her. You just, you know, it's a sort of enchantment. Enough said, right? Yeah, he again is so stirred up by her magic, and Allegria is this yeah, the Ten of Hearts here. I want to read specifically. I already know that that's like, you know, this beautiful, lovely, young, feminine, like sort of this ingenue vibe, you know, just so feminine and magical and fresh and this sort of thing. And so what, like, I think this is the feminine and what he sees, he can kind of see it for what it is that she's sort of hiding all of this. She's got this misfit syndrome, you know. She's got this five material sort of like, I'm gonna do it my own way. I don't need anybody, like I don't need anybody's help. And she's self-made, and she's, you know, she's a force to be reckoned with, and like kudos, like that's awesome. But like she also knows that she's looking for somebody. She doesn't need anybody, but she's looking for somebody, and she wants to harmonize with them. And so there's a part of her that's really soft inside, and he sees that, he recognizes it behind all of this other ferocity and this formidable sort of exterior that she puts forward. He sees it, and he's kind of like, you know what, maybe that like hard exterior, that, you know, that immovable nature that you've been putting forward, and kind of perhaps keeping you from a connection that you're seeking, it's time to put it, you know, put it to rest. And then the Ten of Hearts, Allegra, is yeah, as the youngest of the Hearts suit family, Allegra embodies a youthful enthusiasm and naivete in regard to her realm of emotion. He sees that, like, as smart as she is, her heart is young, like, in her abilities, you know, in the heart space and connection and connectivity and like, and being vulnerable and softening is young. And so he understands that, he sees that, and he's ready to come forward and like, and help nourish that, because he's the Queen of Materials energy. Like he's so ready to nurture that love into maturity. And oh my gosh, I adore him. I adore her too. Like, it's such a beautiful, like, this is what rom-coms are made of, right? This type of connection, and I love that. Okay, so we're gonna finish that. We're gonna leave that there and finish with Kuan Yin Oracle, and then a song lyric too. These Kuan Yin Oracle cards are also new to me. I'm going to read out of the book, but my dear friend gifted them to me, which is the best way to receive tarot cards. And this Oracle card is going to talk about the future of where this connection is going. Woo! Fire, fire! It's like, just right off the bat, like, it's going to be very passionate. It's called Mother Fierce. And look, I mean, isn't that what our divine feminine is sort of coming forward as? Mother Fierce. But look at how flourished she is. Like, she's warmed from all of this like icy, you know, spades and swords energy. She's warmed. And I think that when the divine feminine and the divine masculine come together like this, it's you know, it just creates this like beautiful fire. It's very passionate, and she, like, everybody's happy. So let's see what the actual meaning. It's the number 18, which reduces to 9, which is personal realization as well as anything else. So the coming together of the two actually is very, again, enriching to the individuals as well. It's a part of your individual ascensions. It's a part of it. You know, because even though we come in this world and leave alone, you know, our connections are the way in which, like, the access into our ascension between the worlds, you know. So Mother Fierce, let's see what it says. Mother Fierce is your guardian. Nothing can penetrate the passionate fire of her fearless love. Oh, there's that divine masculine's fearless love. Your safety is assured, beloved. In the midst of any apparent challenge or threat, no matter how frightened or frightening it may seem, and no matter how insecure you might feel about taking a step on your spiritual path into more power, know that you are safe. You are protected. You are loved. Isn't that what I've been saying? So, so the union of this is reassurance to both, really. But in this case, I think the Divine Feminine needs the most reassurance that it's safe. It's safe to become vulnerable. It's safe to be loved. It's safe to relax into the hug that this Divine Masculine is offering forward. You know, he's here to nourish because he's ready to nourish, because he's already been through his own previous cycle. Was an ascending period. It was very enriching for him. He has love to give, and you know, and you're the one. He sees it. It's so beautiful, and it's going to result in something really enriching and passionate. Not just enriching in the earthly sense, you know, you'll establish and create in the 3D, yes, but it's also very passionately enriching as well. It's very fiery, and it's very protected, and it's so gorgeous. So we're going to end on a song lyric just to further support, just, you know, this piece of fun, and let's talk more about this relationship. Where are we going? Ooh, so Jonathan Bree, Static. It says, these song lyrics are gonna be great. Captured bikini bridges across hip bones, a prominent clavicle, a bleeding nose? Yeah. That's hot. So it's like this little inventory. It's like, you can see Jonathan Bree is super great. His songs are fantastic, but his lyric writing is very cinematic. So just imagine he's captured bikini bridges across hip bones, a prominent clavicle, a bleeding nose. That's hot. So it's like you can see the camera going up this body where, like, you know, and the bikini bridge is like the hip bone, and the bikini coming across the hip bone and creating that little like arc. Like, it's like super sexy because you're like, ooh, I can see into it, because the, you know, and then the clavicle bone, same thing. Like, you know, it's like so, it's sensual. And then, you know, he throws in this sort of like bleeding nose, this sort of like harsh imagery as well, but that's hot, and that is totally the, you know, the vibe of this relationship, or like how you come together or came together. Like, you know, there's this sort of undeniable attraction, and you guys are both admiring each other's bodies from afar. Remember that, and in spite of your differences, you guys can't help but be drawn together. It's very magnetic, big time lava, you know, on the horizon here for both of you, and sexy. That's hot. You both see each other as absolutely hot and sexy, and that is like a completely healthy access point to a really beautiful, loving, and protected relationship that creates harmony. It's beautiful. All right, pile 3. That's so dreamy. I hope this resonated with you. If it did, please do hit the like, thumbs up button, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sending you so much love and light. Have a happy Valentine's Day, and if you're catching this another time, just have a happy day. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me. All right, bye for now.